Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Alright, so what are we doing today? I don't know. We're gonna figure that out. I have a new card that I want to add into the game. But also, yeah, I need to figure out a lot of the quality of life stuff with respect to the UI. I have started reworking some of the UI's design a little bit, but yeah, it's gonna be very difficult. We're gonna see if I can make any progress on that on this stream. Otherwise, we'll find something else to do. I think that's one of those things I'm just gonna have to struggle with off stream to figure out. But anyway, Alchemortis is available for wish listing, so you can do that. It's the first line in the description below. If you're interested, that's a great way of supporting me. Also, I've got the Patreon here. If you want to financially support the project, you could take a look at the different tiers. The top tier will give you credits in the in-game credits for Alchemortis when it releases, so that's pretty cool. There's also other cool perks like unlimited course content access, but also I've got the courses individually for sale here. So if you want to learn how to build games in the Godot engine, I've got them linked in the description below. And this one is the co-op multiplayer course. So this will teach you all the networking tools that Godot has so that you can actually connect with your friend over the internet. So if you're interested in that, check it out. And you can join the Discord, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Here's the abomination that I made. I'm going to add this card to the game. This thing has a lot of hands, as you can see, but what I'm going to have it do, I think something interesting is going to be, it's going to deal a lot of damage based on adjacent weapons. So you'll place weapons next to it and it will deal a bunch of damage, which makes sense because it's like you're putting a weapon in each hand, right? So we'll get that implemented first to start. And then we'll go back to some of the UI stuff. I'll also show you some of the UI changes I made to the card inspector here. But before we get into all that, let's say hello to everyone. Hello Asymmetrics, welcome back. DevGhost, good to see you. Wave function collapse with the UN meeting happening right now. Hello Emerson, welcome, good morning. We funking today too? I guess we are. Hi Law, welcome. Hello Meep, Jerome, good morning. V, welcome back. Did you start a game? When can I play? Asymmetrics, you gotta start one. Define Dottie, hello, welcome. Thank you for the IDR 10,000 stuff, Bill. Very much appreciate that. Yummers, yes. We love the Yummers message, don't we? We love it. Is there a course for how to make friends? I think beyond the age of 40, it's not possible, so sorry, there's nothing to help you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Anyway, hello, Arngenesis. Welcome. Spooky Creature, yes. Testamental, welcome. How are you doing? Hello, Sam Studio. What's planned for today? We're gonna try some UI stuff, but we'll figure that out. We will figure that out. Dreads. Have you ever used Godot's localization system? I have not. I haven't. Why is this taking forever to build? So I made some changes to the card inspector here. Part of the UI streamlining I'm trying to do, but the main thing to do is try to figure out how to get it so that you can view the cards without having to click into each one. So whether that would be a tooltip or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, so there's still some problems with this, but I streamlined it a little bit. I changed the border art, streamlined that a bit. These stats up here, I guess, the turns, the tier, the crit, and the multiplier, those are always visible now. They're kind of segmented off in their own section. Then you've got the abilities, and then you've got these little dividers here, which will divide the ability explanations here, and then also the flavor text. So I think it's a little bit more streamlined. It's a little bit easier to understand. I think this section's visual hierarchy is still off because the abilities here almost feel secondary to this information, which is not right. So still working on that. Going to figure out something else for that, I think, but that's part of the streamlining that's being done. And yeah, like I said, the major problem to try to solve is how can I communicate what each card does without having to click in and out all the time? and also without obscuring any information that might be necessary. So, for instance, if I go, let's just go into this combat here. Actually, I don't even know if this is going to be a valid combat. Let's see. Yeah, lamb, okay. So if I hover over this, you can see that it highlights all the enemy cards here. So if I were to pop out like the card inspector, I don't want to hide those highlights, right? If I'm hovered over the card, I want to show those highlights. And also I want to show, oh, this is not working either. I should fix that real quick. But when it highlights the cells on the board that it affects too, I don't want to hide that either. So that could be a problem. And, you know, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But before I do that, there's a bug here that I want to fix while I'm thinking about it. Highlight, query, highlight component. If ability is not, continue. Can I do this? Or queryable ability.query options. Not query source board. So if it's not querying the source board, then we don't want to highlight the cells, I don't think. Let's see. OMG, I got here and then no need to click cards dream stream. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna, we're not gonna fix it this stream. This is gonna be probably a huge effort. But we could try to figure it out. I mean, I can just see like what a tooltip looks like. The problem is a tooltip is going to obscure the boards. That's gonna be the big problem. So I almost wonder, see, like all this stuff here, this text is as small as it can be. So if I try to put any amount of information in the tooltip, it's going to be a massive tooltip. And especially if this list is very long because of alchemy, you're going to need to be able to scroll the tooltip. So I almost wonder if like I'm almost wondering if like a floating window that you can move around would be good. So instead of the card inspector being brought up, you could have like a floating window that comes up and then you can move it around. But every time you click a card, it changes the window. That would probably be too much too, though. There's just not a whole lot of space. That's the thing. Anyway. We've got other things to do before we consider that. Hello, Mun. What are you working on today? Tooltip? Yeah, I don't know. Like, the goal is to try to figure out a way to make inspecting the cards quicker, but there's just a lot of challenges. If the abilities are on the same card, it might be easier to understand if it just showed the total value instead of how to the right. What? If the abilities are the same on a card, it might be easier to understand if it just showed the total value instead. No, that's not going to work because there's a specific reason those abilities are separated, is because that tells you some additional information, because since each of these is an application of poison, then that could scale with anything that detects applications of poison, right? So if you have something that scales based on the number of times poison is applied, that's 4 applications of poison right there, right? So it's not that this could be merged because I'll lose that information, right? If I wanted to, I could just make this one ability and apply 8 poison, but that's not what I want. I want this to apply poison 4 separate times. So that's information that cannot be hidden because it's useful information. Tooltip on top of the grid, centered above it. The problem is what happens when the grid is bigger. With symbols only. I can't do that. There's no way. The abilities are not standardized to a level where I can just put symbols. I mean, I can just show this information, but this information is almost not the most important information. The abilities are the important information, right? I mean, I don't need to show the name. I might not need to show the tags, but I definitely need to show the abilities. That's the most important piece. Easy mode 1 minute solution, hover equals tooltip, click equals show targets. Again, the tooltip can't obscure the board though, because when you hover over cards, it shows the interactions. So if a card affects another card and you hover over it, it highlights the card that it affects. If I have a tooltip, it's very likely to obscure maybe part of that. We need floating windows. Can you do something like icon plus value, and if you want to know what the icon does what, you hover mouse over it? Yeah, the problem is the abilities aren't standardized. So if I have an ability that's like, deal 4 times damage for each poison that you took since the last turn, how do I represent that as an icon? I could create a unique icon for that, but then it's like, if I've got 150 unique abilities that don't overlap in any way, then I need to create 150 icons, and at that point it doesn't become very useful, because then it's like, am I expecting the player to have to memorize all 150 icons? That seems unrealistic. Also, the turn section might be confusing to a new player if it means the card lasts for 12 turns, or if it plays every 12 turns. Yeah, that'll be part of the tutorial. Did a new Blackthorn prod pass the game yesterday, and this time it was all Godot? Turned out great. They didn't ask me. They didn't ask the greatest niche e-celeb in the history of Godot. You could say apply poison 4 times. I just think, yeah, that's probably unnecessary, because that requires me to create a whole new framework of detecting which abilities are similar and then grouping them, and also generating the language to say it applies 4 times. I mean, I guess I could try to do something like that, but again, it's like, this could be a poison application ability that has a conditional on it, like apply to poison if X or Y, and then how do I merge that with just a normal poison, right? So even that solution is not going to be a bulletproof solution. Yeah, it works. Like, I'm trying to impress upon you guys that it works in the narrow case of this squid, but I'm not thinking narrowly. I'm thinking about this system as a whole. Yeah, that combining those abilities into a single tooltip might work for the squid, but like, this might be the only place in the game where this happens, where it combines, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm trying to think at a systems level here, not just what the individual card is saying. Maybe if you hover over the card above the grid, it shows the name, tags, turns, and below the grid, it shows the abilities. Yeah, I mean, that's an option. Again, what happens when this grid is taking up this much space, right? Like, I could very quickly get in a situation where there is no room on the top or the bottom. Yes, you'd see the interactions upon clicking rather than just while hovering. I think that's the ideal solution, just a quick one. How does the bazaar handle it? That is a good question. Does the bazaar give you an opportunity to inspect the enemy boards before the combat starts? I was under the impression that that wasn't really a thing. Like, as soon as you go into a combat, I think the combat just kicks off automatically, right? Or maybe not. I have to look into that. What if the enemy board is pushed out when the information panel moves out? Still show on the left side of it and adjacent to the player and the board, if that makes sense. Enemy board is pushed out. The problem is, if you have a card that targets enemy board cards, you're going to lose that information as well, right? So if I hover over a card like this here, apply 25% blind to a random enemy card. So if the enemy board goes away, I'm not going to see that highlighting the enemy cards. Now in this case, it doesn't have any conditionals, so it's like, you know, it just applies to a random enemy card. So there's no like useful information that comes from highlighting, but it could be like, this could say to a random minion card, and then it's like, okay, well, as it stands right now, I can hover over the squid and it will highlight the enemy minion cards on the board. So, yeah. What if the enemy board is pushed out when the information panel moves out to still... Oh, wait. Is that the same message? Yeah, that's the same message. I'm not trying to shoot down your ideas. I'm just saying, like, I've thought about this stuff, and each solution is going to obscure some other useful information, or there's not going to be enough room on the screen. So I'm just trying to illustrate that this is a much more complex problem than just show a tooltip, you know? Would you have a max size for the grid, or would that be too restrictive? Well, there has to be like an implicit max size, because obviously this can't go off the screen. but it would be pretty large. Like, I'm expecting it to take up a lot of this space in the late game. Don't listen to these fools. The answer is obvious. Build and maintain an entire companion app for the phone that allows you to see what cards are. Oh my gosh. That'd be kind of cool, actually. But I think if you can, I think you can inspect enemy cards. If not at the start, you can at the end. Oh, okay. In Bazaar. In that case, you can still compact ones that are duplicate into ×2, but any conditionals or extra info are shown separately. Will reduce clutter, but might require some rework. Yeah. Make it configurable so the players can choose to obscure the board and warn them that it's not the intended gameplay. Companion tablet phone app PTSD from that 8th gen console fad. Every other AA wanted to push that. Yeah, what was it, like Fallout 4 had a mobile companion app or something, which like was totally useless if I remember correctly. Anyway, but we don't have to think about this right now because I want to implement this guy, the abomination. This should actually be relatively easy, so we're going to be back into the UI conversation very quickly. Create new resource. Oh no, I have a card tool. What am I doing? Actually, I should look at what the... I don't want to copy Elden Ring tutorial boss. This is somewhat inspired by the Elden Ring... Oh, it's a grafted scion. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm not using the same language. Okay. Abomination. Okay. Flavor text. We're not going to do that yet. Dimensions 2x2. Art. Abomination. What do we want to do here for the turn cooldown? 9 maybe? Tags. Minion. I'm also going to make it alchemical. And the reason is because that would imply that it's kind of like an alchemical creation. Be kind of cool. Okay, anyway. Is flippable. Critical chance. We're not going to do anything like that. All right, so now we can go to the abomination. So I want this ability to be a little bit interesting. I want this to be a little bit interesting. Return new ability builder dot ability configuration. Abilities equals that. Scaling func is equal to tier. Description func is equal to string.empty. Oops. So we're going to need a query count provider. Query count provider dot query options dot query directions is equal to board inventory component dot query directions dot adjacent. Query count provider dot query options dot card type filter is equal to card tag. Oh no, this is a tag filter. Tag filter card tag dot weapon. Okay. var damage is equal to new damage. We'll just do 0 here. var dynamic damage is equal to new dynamic magnitude ability. We're gonna do damage. Oh no, we're gonna do, we need a value scaler. New value scaler. What does this accept? Source provider, query count provider, value scaler dot set multiplier. Oops. Let's do 5. Okay. So this dynamic magnitude ability, we're going to take the value scaler in there and damage. Now I wanted this to do something interesting. I wanted it to, instead of just doing a straight 5 damage per adjacent weapon, I wanted it to increase at a faster rate than that for each additional weapon. How would I do that? Anyway, abilities, this needs to be query count provider, dynamic damage. Scaling function, set multiplier, const int, original multiplier, or let's do base multiplier. This is base multiplier there. Value scalar dot set. Let's do scalar is equal to ability scalars dot make additive scalar 1. Value scalar dot set multiplier scalar original magnitude base multiplier tier. Description function deal value scalar dot get multiplier. Wait, no, this is not right. Yeah, deal damage per adjacent weapon. And we can put the composed ability in here. Okay, so I think that's basically it. Let's test it out. I do want to change the scaling, but let's just get this working first. Abomination, scythe, axe, ceremonial dagger, and let's add a grimoire in there as well. Override player board dimensions. Okay, let's see. Flavor text on that card should just be your mother. Oh, no. I'm so intrigued by how you handle new minions. Can't wait to see that. Yeah. Big Ellen giving it hands instead of feet. Oh, really? Can you add which enemy card is being affected by a certain ability on the player's card on the info panel itself so it acts like a version of the hover that tells you in the text? That's an interesting idea, yeah. It's clearly a beholder with hands. A behander? Okay. Deal 5 damage per adjacent weapon. I keep adding... I need to figure out... I'm not going to do periods on the end of these. Anyway. So if I put this here, I can put the scythe there. Whoops. Scythe there. That there. Can I fit the grimoire? Fit the grimoire there. Ah, shoot. I don't have enough room. But, so this is going to deal 15 damage. Now, what I want to do is I wanted to do 5 damage for the first one, and then something like 15 damage for the second one, and then like 30 damage for the third one. I wanted to increase non-linearly, essentially, with more weapons. But let's just go ahead and test that. So that should deal 15 damage. We also want to test the upgrade as well, which should deal 6 damage per. Bam, 15 damage. I like the idea of the abomination just having a book in its hand that it's smacking enemies with. Okay. Is there an upgrade somewhere? There's an upgrade there. I feel like my absolute neglect of punctuation is making my messages a lot harder to decipher. No, it's okay. I think my reading comprehension is not super good either. Is the abomination happening? Yes, it is. Welcome, JKHE. Chimeras in yet? Perfect alchemical minion too. Oh, yeah. That would be cool. A chimera. Let me add that. Hopefully there's nothing incriminating in my vault here. Nope. Okay. Player card ideas. Okay, we'll upgrade this. This should be 6 now. Deal 6 damage per adjacent weapon. Perfect. So now it should be dealing 18 damage. So I've pretty much, I mean, I've gotten the new card creation process down to a science. That new ability definition framework that I built is making it a lot easier to create abilities, I think. So like, I mean, that entire ability you saw like on the stream, it took what, 5 minutes to write this? So yeah, it's feeling pretty good. I think the abomination is working, so we can call that good. It's a minion alchemical. Cool. Alrighty. Add abomination ability. All right, back to the UI discussion now. You created a custom inspector to create scripts and nodes by itself. That's so cool. Yeah, are you talking about the tool here, card creation tool? This little window here? Yeah, so I think I want to, sometime this week, I want to produce a tutorial video on how to use those editor scripts. I'll probably do it in GDScript just because it'll reach a wider audience, but I want to do that because I think that perhaps a lot of people don't know about, I mean, I certainly didn't know about that. That's not one of the features that's like heavily advertised. So I think just creating like a comprehensive, 10-minute tutorial, here's how you can use the card or the editor scripts and create a different window and everything. So card creation tool, you get a new window with some UI controls in here that you can play around with. I think that'd be super useful. Really need to see that after stream, yeah. While doing handstand at the same time. IDK, if you already saw this, but there's a post about Gunforged on Game. Really? Is that a new post? What? Are you serious? That's not. There's no way. Oh my gosh, they're putting me on blast on Reddit. They're putting me on blast on Reddit? Bro, I'm not so niche anymore. Oh my gosh, they're putting me on blast. Just looking at the game's logo alone is already enough to not make me want to play it. All right. Why would I play this game? Okay, so I guess that's some useful information. It's not an it was originally designed. Gunforge was originally going to be an Enter the Gungeon clone, but it actually became more of a Brotato clone, but everyone still thinks it's Enter the Gungeon clone. So that was probably a failure of marketing. That's probably a failure of marketing. Doesn't appear to be any depth to the gameplay. No story. It's just too bare bones. The first 3 seconds of the trailer, the most amateur thing I've ever seen. Looks like yet another Survivors-like with okay graphics. Dang, I got put on blast. No unique standout features. Well, I think the thing is that, I mean, I agree with most of this feedback. It's nice to see it on Reddit too, because these are just people who have no filter. But what I'm seeing here, though, that I think is good for Alchemortis is I think that Alchemortis doesn't have any of those problems, right? Alchemortis is a very distinct style. It's got some story elements that I'm planning on building out more. It's got a unique mechanic, which I'm going to have to really emphasize. I'm going to have to really emphasize the unique mechanic, which is the alchemy. Make sure that that's very good in the marketing. But yeah, I think, Gunforged was basically just like a generic Survivors-like with some different things. The capsule art is of poorer quality. Anyway. That's interesting. I might pop into that thread and say something or not. I don't know. We'll see. While cats were sabotaging his internet connection, everything was so quick, I'm genuinely impressed. Yeah. What do the white dots show when hovering over a card? Oh, that's the cells on the board that the card can affect. Gonna do another swarm things besides spiders, maybe locust. Yeah, there will be more swarm stuff. You really can do a Godric the Grafted build now, yeah. Hello, Yeet. I'll add to the blast, no dark mode Reddit. Well, I was in a private window, so I wasn't logged in. I called you a fail for free. Our favorite non-niche e-celeb. Redditors are such annoying little yeah. They can be. I mean, the unfiltered feedback it can be very useful though. Non-niche e-celeb. Great things to take with you, very nice. You would think a sub called game dev people would be less harsh in their criticism and try to be more constructive. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, how many people in the game dev subreddit are actually doing game dev? Like I think this is a common problem with people generally, is they will open up an engine or something for 5 minutes and then they'll be like, I'm gonna join it's more of like a lifestyle. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know, should I say LARP? You know, like people who have done like tinkering and game development for like a couple hours go into the game dev subreddit and start opining on things, and it's like, you know, I don't know if that's I don't know what caliber of the game devs are in there. I mean, I'm not that great of a game dev. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to do it. So I'm not putting anyone on blast for not being a great game dev, but I wonder how many of those people are not really super serious about game dev, either as a hobby or as a profession. It's time for game dev once again, but before that, Reddit, yeah. Hear me out, remove the sell board and make it so you have to sell at the shopkeeper. Adds more board management, then expand the inventory by 1 row. So I was copying that from the bazaar, because the problem is if you get a card as a reward and you don't have room in your inventory and you really want the card, that can feel really bad, right? So if I go to a booster and I get a card that I really want, but I have no option of freeing up inventory space to get the card, then that's just going to feel terrible. It's not going to feel good. So I understand what you're saying, but I think it's better to allow the player to make room in their inventory on demand so that they can pick up those cards that they want. At the end of the day, it's still Reddit. Understandable. Use the now free space for combat and tooltips, just an idea. Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, but I think I need to have the ability to sell. Now, do I need to have a sell board there, or can I just have like a key that you can press or something? Or I could make the sell board like slide in dynamically when you start dragging a card so that it's not always present. That could work, maybe. Actually, that's an interesting idea. I think the way the Bazaar handles it is that if you want to sell a card, you have to like drag it into the top. I forgot, I haven't played the Bazaar in a while, but I don't think the sell board is like a thing in the Bazaar. I think you have to drag the card like to the top of the screen or something to sell it, if I remember correctly. So I could definitely do something like that. Either show the sell board when you start dragging a card so it's not always visible, or just have like a little zone that will automatically sell the card when you drag it into it. You know what I mean? I think Alchemortis is a way more distinct look. I think you could capitalize on that a lot with a good trailer. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm actually considering maybe just hiring a professional to do the trailer, because if I'm going to drop the ball with Alchemortis, it's going to be in one of two areas. It's going to be either because I didn't balance the game correctly, I didn't provide a proper challenge, and I didn't make enough build variety. So all those things are kind of like gameplay related, right? Or I'm going to fail at the marketing. So I think to reduce the risk of me failing at the marketing, I'm going to hire somebody to do a lot of the marketing elements for me, like the trailer and whatnot. It's going to be expensive, but I think it's worth the investment to reduce the risk of failing at marketing. Been lurking I've been lurking for a while. Welcome, Neozoid. Posers, yeah. 10%, I would guess. They're not in it for the love of the game. Barely open an engine and call yourself a game dev. I feel attacked. They're just there to find games, yeah. I know for sure that people who do something with their lives are rarely somewhere commenting about somebody else's. Yeah. Some good perspective, but don't sit there agonizing over the comments. Yeah, I mean, I think I may have mentioned this when I was talking to Aramis. I was like, you kind of have to have a healthy ego to put your work out onto the internet, because it's like, you know, those people, yeah, a lot of the comments are rude, they're snarky, but at the same time, like, you have to have the ego to say, well, they're right about this and that, but they're wrong about this, or you have to even be able to say this person doesn't know what they're talking about, you know. Fall flats. Drag it to the top part of the screen in the Bazaar. Can you just have a chest icon and you can just drag your card onto that? Yeah, I might do that. So if we could free up some space, let's see. If we could free up some space in the left side. So if this whole region, it's still a little bit too narrow horizontally though. I mean, we can do a quick test. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough space, but let's see. It seems like it should be reasonably possible to do this. The problem is what happens if the abilities are super long? They're going to go off the screen and you're not going to be able to scroll it. Also, what happens with this empty space when... Maybe the cell board can stay there and then like the ability description could just slide in here. We'll try. We'll do some experimentation. Maybe we can make use of this space here. It could be the case that if it's just like, look, if it has too many abilities, it'll just get cut off. It'll just get truncated. And if you need to see the remaining abilities, you have to open the inspector, right? Like I don't need to show every single possible bit of information. I think just giving the player enough of an overview on hover will be enough. And the inspector will still exist, so if you need the in-depth description, you can have that. So let's try that. We can probably make use of this space. Good morning to you as well. You probably should hire a person for this Steam thumbnail and trailer. Well, I did that for Gunforge and everyone said it looks terrible, so I don't know. Also, I gotta find a good artist. I can't use Fiverr because all the Fiverr people are using AI art. You're basically paying somebody to generate a prompt for you on Fiverr. Have you heard of Derek Liu? He has a bunch of tips on good trailer making, made some awesome ones like the Firewatch trailer. Yeah, I just don't know. I'll just probably hire someone. What about doing something similar to Backpack Battles where they were adding new things every week but still letting others play the game for free? Or run some builds which can give you free marketing. I'm not familiar with that. It's a fine line between what does that person know and actually seeing some valid criticism in a moronic rambling. Yeah. Somebody else dislikes Reddit as much as me. What is the white ghost card in the upper left? That is the abomination. The abomination deals 5 damage per adjacent weapon. Should be able to set scroll while hovered on something. Oh yeah. So while you're hovered, you can scroll it. That's an interesting idea. Like how Teamfight Tactics does it, you can drag down to a region to sell, or there's a hotkey that will sell whatever you're hovering over. Oh, gotcha, okay. Made some fairly popular 3D printed toys. It's really helped me hone my ego. Hope I'm ready for game dev, yeah. Have you tried horizontal inventory at the bottom next to your HP? More free left-right space for tooltips? I have not. If I see AI in a Steam thumbnail, I immediately avoid buying it, yeah. My smile looks fake? Okay. Maybe some info like a total of effect with range like 5. Maybe some info like total of effect with range like 5 to 10 or DPS for the left window and whole information's on the right. Oh, DPS, I see. I liked the font. If spacebar isn't used for anything, you could do something like when holding it down and hovering over a card, it instantly displays the inspector. Only really solves quickly skimming cards though, yeah. YouTube is so buggy I couldn't even comment. Okay. Sorry, wrong word, goofy. Oh, well, I am a goofy character, so I guess that checks out. There's still some scaling that I want to do on the abomination, but maybe I'll just... because I do want to experiment with this UI stuff. Here. Flavor text. Change scaling to be non-linear. All right, let's try some UI experimentation here. So this is going to have to go in the drawer. I'm going to make this super simple to start. Um, how do I want to do this? Where's the cell board? Oh, it's in the player inventory. I'm just trying to figure out how I want this to work. Okay, let's do this. Go to the layout here. Shrink begin. Vertical shrink end. Let's turn this up. Oh, I actually don't know how long this is going to be. We'll try that. Okay, so that's a color rectangle. We're going to add a margin container underneath that, make that a full rectangle. Okay, and then what we need to do is add a VBox container. Theme overrides, no. I might just change. Oops, what did I just do? Header label. Actually, can I just remove that? Yeah, we'll just, oh, no, it needs to be 16. Okay. We could change that just there. So every time I use the header label, it's 16. Okay, so we got the giant squid here. And then we're gonna do this. Instantiate a child scene ability label. Oh, does this have a layout custom? Oh, it doesn't have a custom minimum size. Why is that? Oh, does this have a custom minimum size? So that's going to need to change. That's okay. We'll figure that out in a second. Enchant label placeholder. Ability label placeholder. Buff label placeholder. I probably don't need to go this far, but let's just debuff label placeholder. Let's just do the ability first. Okay, so let's mark this as a unique. Actually, I probably want to, let's see, card tooltip. Let's do card inventory tooltip. Save branch as scene, UI drawer. Yeah, that's fine. We can save it in there. Scripts UI drawer, card inventory tooltip. Actually, you know what I want to do? Can I undo? Oh, nope, that's not gonna work. I did this wrong. Delete that. Tooltip. Okay, so now we can add a script in here. Game.ui.drawer node private instance placeholder ability label placeholder. Public override void ready. This dot get card mouse events manager. Card manager dot connect. Signal name dot card mouse entered. Callable dot from. Okay, so we got base card. Callable dot from. On card mouse entered. Base card. Okay, and then we need one for mouse exited. Okay, let's create another VBox container here. Put those all under there. Ability container. Access a unique name. Oh, I need to access this as a unique name as well. Node, private control, ability container. Oops. Okay. Private void clear. For each var child in ability container dot get children. If child is instance placeholder. Oh wait, we don't need that. Continue. Child.queueFree. And we're also going to set visible equal to false. On card mouse entered. Okay. So on card mouse entered, we're going to do show tooltip card, and then this is where everything's going to have to happen. Okay, that's basically it. Now, it's not going to work that well, but let's call clear on ready. We're going to do ability container dot remove child dot queue free. All right, let's see what happens. The thing about UI is you don't want people's eyes to divert from it where they're looking, so the hover inspection should be as close to the mouse as possible. I just don't think that's going to work because it's going to obscure the board. Okay, so there's some problems here. If not, hide grid indicator. This is not going to be great, but we'll just do null here. If minimum size dot has value, custom minimum size is equal to minimum size value, rich text label dot size is equal to vector 2.0. So now in here, we're going to do new vector 2, 96, 0, true. Let's see if that works. I'm distracting dev, or dev wants distraction. Either way, back to work. All right. Good UI works at a glance, yeah. Some serious miscommunication is happening. Today I learned that rect and color rect means rectangle and I feel stupid. Oh. Still not. Let's do... I just don't know if there's going to be enough room to effectively show things there. How much room do I have here? That's 102. Let's just turn it down to 64, I guess. I just don't know if that's going to be enough room. Here's what I'm going to do so I can see this a little bit easier. What am I going to do? Add reference rect here, there. Oh, it's not a container. I wonder if I can do this. Let's go to game. Well, let's take this margin container here. Constants margin left 8. Title label. Oops. Card definition resource display name. Just giving an idea, there's a new 4.5 node, the foldable container. Maybe it could help. Auto wrap mode Word. Layout, custom minimum size. Let's try that. Title label, let me just look at this. Font, Line spacing -8. So I want to change that in here. Line spacing -8. So I can actually remove these overrides here. Get rid of that override. Get rid of that override. Okay. If you played around with guide and state charts add-ons in the GDScript guide of things, both are phenomenal add-ons in my opinion. Oh, I wonder if you played around. I haven't heard of those, no. I haven't heard of those. Oh, that probably should be a little bit less. I mean, so obviously it doesn't look great, but... And obviously that needs to go away when I'm dragging, but how do we feel about that? Is that... So let me just try this. So if I do this... Okay. I almost wonder... I'm just trying to get to an enemy card here. How did I die? How is that possible? I want to see if I can get to a larger enemy board. Let's see. Yeah, maybe having it over there is not going to work. It's too squished, but... Let me try something. Let's go 10, 10. Hello, DG Temp. Haven't been able to watch you and also game dev in a while. Or game dev, been a while. Welcome back. Can you try hovering over enemies? It's a good start, I guess. Yeah, it's good. I think... oh my. Probably the player board is not going to be that big ever, but it's a good test because... Now I'm going to go to my enemy board generator. No. I'm just seeing, like, theoretically, if the boards were super big. Wow. I don't think the boards are going to be this big. Oh, excuse me. I guess what I'm considering doing is, so doing what a lot of people have suggested, do a tooltip closer to the cards, but put it in this middle section here instead. So if you're hovering over the player board, it will be like glued to the right side here. And if you're hovering over the enemy board, it will be glued to the left side. I don't think the boards are ever going to be this big though. 10 by 10 seems a little big. I'm worried that, excuse me, hold on. 1 second here. I'm worried that if the boards are too big, I won't have enough room here either, but that might be not a problem. Let's say that 8 by 8 is the max. I've got some errors here too. I don't know what that is. If you can move the inventory tags and combat tags and just make it draw a little wider, I think it will look better. Oh, I can't sell these things? Dang it. Oh wait, yes I can. It's a little buggy, but let's see what this looks like. Yeah, so if I can put a tooltip in this region here, that might work. So I put it like in the middle. I cannot try Alchemortis anymore. No, the playtest is over. You'll have to wait for the next playtest, Dragon Apple, unfortunately. No, that's a board I'd like to have. Those boards look cool, yeah. Fill in the middle with info. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Gonna say 8 by 8 as well. Seems good enough. Do you use JSON file to store your DB? I don't have any like storage, like save data storage. I probably will use JSON, but right now all of my card data is in custom resources. Welcome, Yayan. Is a battle log really that useful? Yes. Yes, it is. You think it would look good with the tooltip in the middle? Any conclusions from the playtest? Yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing right now. So the quality of life stuff being that people want a quicker way of seeing what cards do. Instead of having to click in and out every time. So I think, yeah, maybe instead of the tooltip being there, it's going to have to be here. But I'm going to have to make this a generic way too, so that it works with every board. Because if I go to... If I go to like the enchant here, it's going to need to work with this board too. So if I put this here and I hover over it, it needs to show a tooltip. Maybe I should just make, instead of trying to attach it to the side of the board, maybe I should just put it in the middle here. Okay. Okay. Let's try that. I don't think it's really working in the inventory. It's just not enough room. So let's do this. We're gonna get rid of this pass-through control here. We'll go to the game UI instead. Here. So what I'm gonna need is probably inside of here. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's instantiate the card inventory tooltip there. Okay, we're gonna change this now. Let's do this. Layout, container sizing, shrink center, and we can change this custom minimum size to be a little bit wider. Could even maybe do 196. I don't know. Try that. That might be too big as well. Also, this is not a container, so I need to fix that. Let's remove this script. Make this the scene root. Change this to be fill and fill. This margin container here. Get rid of this margin. Layout. Container sizing. Shrink center, shrink center. So now if I go to my game UI, it will be like that. It's still probably too big. Why is that so big? Anyway. It should just work. Oh, nope, it's not. Why is that not working? Oh. This is only going to work in an event, so I put it in the wrong spot. Let's go in here, though. Still not working. Oh, I forgot to add the script. Oops. I forgot to add the script back. That's why it's not working. Hello, Ariane. What keyboard do I use? It's a Keychron K2HE, I think. Oops, something broke. Oh. I was just trying to have space have multiple uses. Yeah. Unless the log goes in the middle too. Maybe top of screen. Dedicated space on the screen so you know where to look. Hello, Clicker Tail. Welcome back from school. What is going on here? I don't know what's going on here. Why is it not working? I mean, it is kind of working, but it's also kind of not. Why is it all the way over? I don't understand this. I did not tell you to go all the way over. Oh, I still have a custom minimum size on that. That's why. Okay. I'm gonna break a rule here. Z index 10. Let's change it to be fixed to the bottom. I don't know. We'll turn down the custom minimum size again. We'll see. Put this back to center. Hello, personal Haiti, welcome. I have something to tell you. My birthday is October 7th. Well, happy almost birthday. Welcome back to the stream. Goodbye. How do we feel about that? I almost wonder, I probably don't even need... I probably don't need this color rectangle here. Something doesn't feel right. Yeah, I don't think none of these solutions are working. The game area is a secret place, yeah. It looks fine to you? I like it just having the root near the top of the ground and expanding the tooltip towards the bottom would be good. Yeah, I mean, the reason I have it centered is because if it gets very large, so if I do, well, I would have to alchemize something. Okay, anyway, I'll do this. Let's see. I don't know. Just let it clash with the board, your beloved transparency. because the card's title jumping every time seems a bit weird to me. Mega Scythe. You could be a graphic designer, so clean and understandable. Or front end also. Well, design is not my strong point, but I did do front end, a lot of front end stuff, but I didn't do the designs for the front end. I just implemented the designs. I don't know. I mean, this tooltip is okay. Obviously, it's a little buggy. It needs some work, but the problem is, like, also, is this enough information? Like, do I need to show the tags as well? Do I need to show... I'll need to show all the enchants and debuffs and whatnot. Or maybe just the enchants. Maybe the debuffs don't need to be shown. I don't know. Something to think about. Let's do this. Let's go back down to a more reasonable player board size. Huge inspector changes, love it. Thank you. Knowing tags is only good for synergies, isn't it? Yeah. The title needs to be anchored to just under the fog shader. That doesn't look terrible. I think if I mean, obviously it needs a lot of fixes. And if I anchored it, like you said. Let me try that. Let me try that. So this is going to need to be shrink begin. And then I need to increase this. Let me go to my game UI here. How many pixels is this? Oh, I guess I can just see it in here. Still though, let's measure it. So this is down 92. Synergies are shown with the outlines neighboring cards, so I guess tags are really not needed. Not needed in this tooltip, yeah. Dang, this is kind of nice to have playtesters for your game, huh? I wish I had some, yeah. It is very nice. It's very nice. Is that better? Maybe a tiny bit lower. Let's just do 100. I think that's okay. That looks good. Looks cleaner. Let's see it in fight with the HP at the bottom. That's a good call. Oh, my enemy boards are still huge. So this is probably, yeah, it's going to overlap that. So this is another problem. Oh. I may have to truncate it, honestly. The scythe having so many bleeds feels odd. I know why they're all separate, but I'm just saying it feels like a lot. Oh, this is just for testing. The only reason I have this many bleeds on the scythe is so I can see what a long description looks like. The scythe is only supposed to have one bleed. So this is just, yeah, this is just for me to visualize, like, what does a long item description look like, you know? Even with the Grimoire, it has one ability, but it, you know, it covers multiple lines. Gave my game to a friend and he immediately found an infinite exploit and broke the game. Yeah, many such cases. Is it ever going to be that huge? Yes, it can be for sure. Hello, Rin. Welcome back. Needs a scrollable container, but placement seems decent. So I think what I need to do is have a scrollable container and then have the mouse wheel able to scroll when you hover over it. So like while you're hovered it, you can use the mouse to scroll. I think that might be the thing to do. Limit the length and use scroll wheel. And if you can lock the tooltip to be able to use the scroll wheel with the mouse. Yeah, I think I could do that. I reckon if it's got a narrower width, any one ability that goes over multiple lines should have a new line character between it and the next one for visual separation and clarity. Yeah, the details box gets huge. So I could either truncate it, because I think for the most part, like, the player's gonna know what they're... So an argument in favor of truncating is that really the longest cards are going to be the player cards that are alchemized. And if you alchemized your card, you probably generally have an idea of what the card does, so it doesn't need to show everything. So that could be an argument for truncation. Whereas like the enemy cards, they typically aren't that long because they're not alchemized, right? They only have like one or two abilities. But I can also do a scroll container. Probably be more robust. Okay, tell you what, I need a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will figure out what to do next. I think I'll take a break on the UI stuff and maybe we'll do a new card or something, but... yeah, anyway, give me 3 minutes. I'll be right back and we'll continue on. Okay, I'm back. Use the new container in 4.5. That's gonna require more clicks again though, right? Anyway, let me, I'm gonna keep what I have, but let me just make sure to undo all the hacky stuff that I did to test this. So get rid of that. The scythe, yeah, we're gonna discard that. And then I'm also just gonna remove it from the game UI for now, so it's not a thing, but I'm keeping the script and the scene there so I can play with it later. So, experimenting with hover tooltip for cards. Having a scroll for crazy edge cases like this wouldn't be terrible. No, I don't think so. It's going to be a pain in the rear to detect the mouse input events on a hovered card and send that input to the tooltip. I think I could probably accomplish it with signals, so I would have like a signal to emit when the mouse scroll wheel has been input over a hovered card, and then I would have to respond to that signal in the tooltip to actually scroll the container. So I don't think it's just going to be a little bit wonky, that's all. But anyway, let's do something fun for the remainder of the stream, because UI is not fun. I appreciate all the help though. I think we're getting closer to a state that's good, but it's very possible that that is also going to change in the future. I just feel like it's still not in an ideal state, even after I added the scrolling and everything, but I think it addresses the core feedback of being able to quickly inspect cards. Anyway, we'll think about it some more later. Let's figure out a player card to do. Kind of want to do a maggot card. Should we do some maggots? What about mobile? Yeah, mobile is a thing too. I mean, mobile doesn't have hover states, so anything that involves hovering or scrolling is really not going to work that well. So on mobile, it might just have to be you have to tap into everything. I don't know of a better way to handle that. Like if mobile doesn't have hover states, like you can't, there's nothing you can do about that really. I guess you could like long press, but that would still be annoying. I do UI for work and it's the best. Sobs uncontrollably, yeah. I'm back, what did I miss? Oh, you missed a lot. Beating heart that boosts bleed. The reason I have not done the heart yet is because I'm not confident in my ability to draw that. Maggots, 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 and bits of sick. What do you think is the best way to handle interactions with the mouse of multiple objects with multiple functionalities? Honestly, the best way is just to try to leverage Godot's input handling as much as possible. Like, get your scene structure set up in a way that the inputs are propagating in a sensible fashion. What you don't want to end up with is a situation where, you know, you have inputs being handled in a bunch of different order, but then you need to prioritize them differently. So now you gotta, like, come up with a solution for handling events that are coming from different locations in the scene tree and handling them in the proper order. I think the best way is, if you can, just utilize Godot's input handling prioritization as much as possible and build your game around that rather than trying to handle it yourself. All right, let's do a maggot. I'm just gonna make it very small card. Where is it? In progress. Okay, we'll put that there, I guess. Open file, card, background. We'll do a 1x1. Is this gonna be enough room? Should be. Mm-hmm. That doesn't look like a maggot. That doesn't look like a maggot either. That looks better. I don't have enough room. Nope. Let's try it again. I'm kind of trying to make it go a little bit diagonal because I'll have more room that way. That looks better. The problem is that it's bumping up against the corner here now. Nope, that's not going to work. This might work. Let me look at a maggot real quick. Gosh, this Google sucks. Sorry. It's true though. Okay. I don't want to do that, maybe. They kind of have eyes, but I think adding eyes would be a mistake. What happens if I make this orange? Ooh, that looks kind of gross. I think I like that shape better. Does that look like enough of a maggot to you? Had to go to a meeting. Guillotine. I thought 3 tiny circles, one for the head, one for behind, one for the body, which is slightly bigger, and one for the head. Yeah, I think that's basically what I got, right? S-shaped. No, a fat one. Do you like this? Orange and red for shading. All way ahead of you. There we go. Hello, Artem. Welcome back. A druidic staff that boosts all cards that are animals. I would need to have like an animal tag, I think. Does this look okay for a maggot, though? I think... Let me try something. No, that doesn't look right. If I angle the head down a little bit more... No, that doesn't look right either. I think maybe this way is fine. Ew, perfect. You like it? I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Fatter middle part. Looks like a croissant, yeah. I don't know. Maggots are like, they taper. They don't have a fat middle part. They start off fat and then they taper off. Looks a bit weird, but I'm not sure what needs to change. Don't want to look up maggots to see if you did it well. The white and blue looks somewhat more maggot-like. Well, it looks less like a croissant. Like this. The orange and red seems off. I love maggots, they're nature's recyclers. Maybe you really need to draw that croissant. They're like jiggly rice. Fat middle part might look better. It really looks like a croissant. Maggots tend to be yellow, yeah. I mean, the problem is, like, drawing it diagonally gives me a lot of space, but if I don't know how to do an S shape diagonally. You have to keep in mind I'm working on this is a 12 by 12 area. So like I could do like this. This and that. See, like I don't have the room to create those distinct like S shape really. I mean, this is like I think this is like the best I can do here. That doesn't look right either. That's why I kind of wanted to do it diagonal. That might work. Delicious jiggly rice. Looking at images of maggots, some variants have a dark face. Yeah. If you look up examples of maggot pixel art, they're usually fat. Might not work for 1x1. It's actually pretty good. This looks better. Got something here. Shape looked good, but you gotta visualize it in perspective so the circles curve the same way. This one? Okay. What if the head is smaller than the middle? That's not how maggots look. at least some maggots. I'm looking at a fly maggot. A fly maggot is basically just a tube that tapers off. I mean, that's okay. Should I just chop that part off? Does that look better? Does that shape look better? So like this. I don't know if that looks better. You could do an eyeball themed card in the future. Yeah, I have that. What is this, a shrimp? Shrimp would be cool. They have little feet, but that'd be hard to convey in this scale. Yeah, I think so. Unless I did something like... Yeah, this is probably going to be hard. I feel like the head should curve a bit. I wonder if I just... Let's see. I'm going to get rid of these. No, I don't like that either. Doesn't look right either. Kind of looks like a shrimp now. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of room here. Give that maggot a top hat and a cane so he can sing Michigan J. Frog tunes. I now regret looking up pixel art maggot. Maybe huge black eyes, cute and nutritious. Well, I think I'm just gonna... Let me try moving some things around here. I don't have enough room to like really emphasize the fact that there's a curve. I have to do the curve. Let's see. I'm just experimenting 1 second. Yeah, it's not working. It's okay. That's okay. Let's try again. I just don't have... I have 12 pixels across. 12 pixels. And even this is too big because I can't put that there. Okay, that shape might be better though. It's just, yeah, it's just gonna look weird because the maggot is not supposed to have like a very defined head. It's supposed to taper. That might be okay. How's that one? Maybe making it thinner to allow for more of a curve. Tiny worm, that's a good idea as well. Maggots are usually in groups. Maybe a front view. Pale blue colors. Yeah, I tried that. I don't like it. I mean, it's a maggot, not a worm. It does not need to be that curvy, does it? No, right. Give it a bow and call it Maggie with mouth and eyes. Make it look more like a regular worm. Oh, when I think maggots, I think C-shaped. Okay, we can try that. Nope, I can't go that far. That definitely looks like a croissant now. Definitely looks like a croissant now. Oh, goodness. I'm forever cursed to draw maggots. The shrimp is back. Yummy. Very fortune cookie-ish. Yeah. Forbidden snack. Got something? Make one side longer. Who doesn't love getting a good... Who doesn't love getting their fortune told by a cookie? Croissant disk sampling, wave function collapse. Poisson disk sampling. feel like it's not thick enough. I guess today is not my day. Sometimes there are days like this where you just put in a lot of effort and you get very little to show for it. I'm fairly certain I'm not going to go with this maggot here. I mean, that looks better, I guess. Don't want to make that too long. Oops. Maybe add some dots. Half-eaten donut. The other half is my stomach. Hail to the maggot baby. Please add eyes on this one. I don't think eyes are going to work. It just looks ridiculous, you know? I could do maybe like paler eyes. Yeah, the eyes just make it look ridiculous. Okay, so we've got this one, we've got this one, we've got this one, and we've got this one. Of all of these, I'll name these layers. 2, 3. Of all of these, which one is the best? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Put your votes in now. So we got number 2. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 2. 2 is this one. Flavor text. Is that a shrimp or is it a patriot? It's a maggot. Yeah. Four looks the most like a maggot. 2 is cool too. Definitely 2. This voting is rigged. What did you vote? Oh, 2. Okay. So everyone's saying 2. Okay. Well, I agree that that probably looks the most like a maggot. Maybe there's some stuff that I can do. Somebody said give it a black head. It's got some acne problems, I guess. Is that too dark? Maybe I should move it down. I feel like that's too dark. Maybe if I make it... Oops. Maybe it shouldn't be disconnected. Maybe we'll just do this. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, we got, okay, hold it. Said it looked good like this. Is this the form that you said it looked good in? I should wait before I draw anything else. I feel like it lost a lot of its curve though. Like that? Another ring on the body. Oh yeah, maybe. Head definitely up, yes. Chef's kisses, yes. Totally not late. Maybe slightly smaller head. Yeah, looks great. I think people like this. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do, let's do quit while I'm ahead territory. Although, should I move this over a little bit too? Does that extra curve work or no? No, it kind of makes its rumpus look too big. I'll just leave it the way it is. Okay, yeah. Gross little thing. Okay, we'll just call this good for now. I'm sure I will want to touch it up later. Because I do go back and revisit art if I'm feeling particularly inspired, so it's possible that this will change, but for now it's okay. It'll look probably okay in game. I think it looks a little bit weird zoomed in, but I think when it's in the board it'll look okay. All right, let's do this. 1 second. You know me, I gotta order McDonald's. Can I do... Hold on. Bear with me, everybody. I gotta order my McDonald's. I have to stop eating McDonald's, but goodness gracious. We'll get this implemented in the game. So I'm thinking, what do you think about this? What about giving the maggot bleed and poison? Bleed and poison. Or what abilities would you like to see on the maggot while I'm doing this? I think bleed, because we need more bleed for sure. So I think bleed for the maggot would be good. So let's create the maggot card creation tool. Maggot create. Let's go to the maggot. I wonder if I could open that resource automatically from that tool so I don't have to go and find it. Quick load, maggot. Dimensions 1 by 1. We'll make it, yeah, 4. That's fine. We'll do minion, alchemical. Okay. All right. I'm worried about the end. Someone was going to say it, yeah. Mickey D's. The head suggestive, but then again, the finger card is already there. Yeah, I think it's okay. If people want to see phallic things in their everyday lives, then they are free to do so. Macus, yeah. I almost said it as well, I must admit. Well, now you guys are making me doubt my entire existence. Double quarter pounder with cheese, you know it. He's getting hungry from looking at all those reference images. Yeah, tasty snacks, juicy. Maggots add bleed, remove poison from player. Oh, interesting. Well, the player currently, the enemies don't use poison, and I think that's going to be the same. If I introduce a new status, I want to introduce a new status effect called like holy damage, which only the enemy cards can have. So thematically, the enemies are not going to apply poison to the player. Now, making the maggot scale off of poison in some way would be interesting, I think. Why always McDonald's? McDonald's is delicious. Swarm, unfortunately. Oh, Swarm is a good one. Prefer Burger King or Hungry Jack's as it's known in the US, or in Australia. I feel like apply one poison when board is attacked would be interesting. Okay. Maggots eat dead flesh, so maybe a cool mechanic with that. Maggots scale bleed with poison. So let's do this. Ability builder dot swarm. We want to give it swarm. We want to do ability builder dot bleed 1. And do we want to give it some kind of scaling off of poison? I wonder if swarm and bleed is enough, you know? Because it's a 1/1 card with a low turn cooldown. I don't want to just like stack it with abilities, you know? I mean, we could give it something like if there is more than one maggot on the board, then it deals damage. Some kind of damage. Oh, hold on a second. Swarm is pretty strong. Yeah, I'm going to be nerfing Swarm. So right now, Swarm triggers every other card that has Swarm, but I'm going to change it so that when a card with Swarm executes, it will trigger one other random Swarm card. Does that make sense? And Swarm already works the way that if a card with Swarm is triggered by a card that has Swarm, that Swarm doesn't trigger. I don't know if that makes sense. It's very... Basically, Swarm is only triggered by the card whose turn cooldown is 0. If a card is being executed early because it has Swarm, it does not trigger Swarm. We are the pulse of the maggots. Oh, nice Slipknot reference. Very nice, very nice. All right. Anyway, project settings, maggot. Oh, see, that looks fine in the board. Look at that. The maggot looks pretty good in the board, actually. Maybe I could do a reference to Pulse of the Maggots in the flavor text. So it's got Swarm and apply 1 bleed. And it's got a turn cooldown of 4. Swarm could only work on cards of the same type. Makes most sense on maggots, I guess. Yeah, that could work. The thing that I have to be aware of though is that if the game ends up having like well over 100 player cards, but maggots only work with other maggots, it's going to be really hard to get a build like that working. That's kind of why I'm designing everything to be generic so that swarm cards all work with other swarm cards. So if you wanted to do a swarm build, all you'd need to do is just get a bunch of swarm cards. They don't need to be the same type. Did that maggot crit? Oh, I've got the sundial still, that's why. Let's get rid of this. You wear glasses, but why don't you wear cool smart glasses? It's the future now. Man, I'm so sick of smart things. Just give me a bunch of dumb things, seriously. I don't need my glasses to tell me that I've got a notification from XXGamerXX420 on Discord saying something. All right. Artifact for maggots after defeating an enemy encounter, create 1 new maggot. Yeah, that's basically the spider artifact. So I don't want to do something like that because I want all the artifacts to be unique. You know, that would just basically be a reskin of the spider artifact. Now, what I could do is I could do something like, you know, it'd be really interesting. Selling a card creates a maggot, right? So every time you sell a card, you get a maggot out of it. Did this maggot crit? Yeah. Or how about this? When an enemy dies of necrosis, you get a maggot card. That could work too. Or every time, if necrosis is applied during combat, you get a maggot. Something like that. When you dig up a grave, you get a new maggot. Yeah, there you go. Feel like a bit of juice under the worm could be disgusting. Ew. Get a maggot if you bleed for too long. That's a good one. Wouldn't that make infinite money? Selling a card, getting a card, selling a card. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, the maggot is working. Are we okay with that? Swarm and bleed. Maggots sell for 0. Yeah, we could do that for sure. It's a minion and alchemical. Wonder if the maggot should be a minion or if it should just be alchemical. I guess it's okay. All right, so we're getting there. We're getting there. But my McDonald's is almost here. But the maggot is done, so let me also note this. Okay. So this afternoon, I'm going to spend my day just trying to get that tooltip working well and polished up. But yeah, in the meanwhile, that's going to be it for the stream. Let's see. A special merchant that treasures maggots and spiderlings. Ooh. Would selling a maggot not give maggot then maybe? Test it with more maggots. Yeah, we'll do that, yeah. Maggot was using a scythe and an axe bro is a true warrior, yeah. Okay, anyway. Enjoy your maggots, thank you. So yeah, that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being here. Alchemortis again is available for wish listing. The playtest is now over, but there will be another playtest in the future. Hopefully not too far into the future. And you'll be able to test all the new quality of life changes. You'll be able to test the increased run length as well. So I've got a couple of big things to do to make it feel good. I got to balance out the combat so it feels really good. I should probably add a couple more boss cards so that there's a boss for each region. And also going to do all this quality of life stuff. And also build out the sound effects some more because there's a lot of sound effects missing. But, you know, I'm hoping within like a month or so we can do another round of playtesting with all the new stuff. And hopefully the game will be much improved from the first playtest. But if it's not much improved, then, you know, we'll fix that. But anyway, check out the description for all the ways you can support me. I've got the Patreon. You can join the Discord, all that good stuff. Have a good day, and I will see you back here. I might not be streaming at the normal time tomorrow because I have a meeting. Let me think. I may not make it to the normal stream time, but I will stream tomorrow at some point. So if you're in the Discord, you'll get a notification for it. Otherwise, you can hit the notification bell. And yeah, have a good day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.